Sunday shop doo 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 doo. Sunday shop doo 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 doo. Sunday shop doo 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 doo. Arr. Hello, 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 hello. Greeting, welcome, salutation. Hello, replay crew. Yeah, we're back again for more of the same. More randomness and waffle and stuff. We shall see what we end up talking about this week, shall we? Yes, and Alice is in something. Oh, we have someone turning up. Quick swig. There we go. Yeah. Another week. Another pund. More money earned. More jobs done. Another week older. Another week closer to having a week off. Yay. Yeah, all the good stuffs. And it's finally decided it's going to rain here in Norfolk. G'day, Bruiser. How you diddling? Yeah, so it's basically been the driest March on record. Oh, pardon me. Followed by a very dry start to April. Thankfully, however, having decided to rain today and not yesterday or the day before, because yesterday I finally managed to finish digging out all the borders in the back garden while it was relatively dry soil, so not covered in clag on my feet and muck everywhere. And you know how it is whenever you try gardening and it's muddy. So yes, the borders around are all finally dug over, brambles out, nettles out, roots out, ivy out. Planted another, well, saved a heuchera that had decided it was going to migrate into the lawn. So we dug that up and replanted it. That came up in 3 bits. I think one of them was probably going to die, but they planted 5 more plants and another 70 odd bulbs yesterday. But some of the first blobs that I planted have started to come through, so we do have plants coming up. Yay! I've not just killed everything straight away. Finally getting some sun after 5 days. Yeah, so we've had, so I don't think it rained at all in March, and this is the first time it's rained in April. Yeah, so the borders are done. Next job is retighten and clear off the pond netting so it's not submerged and covered in dead leaves and bits of ivy and bramble and God knows what. Then sort out around the edge of the pond, get some edging in there. Then it will be a case of, as and when, digging over the rest, well, digging out the rest of the brambles and nettles and ivy on the bit that was lawn, and putting in some kind of island bed. Then weed-proof membrane and bark chippings, and we should be just about there. Probably just in time to start planting spring bulbs. Oh joy. Well, yeah, so we're getting there. But yeah, the brown bin or the garden waste bin is full again, so I have to wait another week for them to empty that because I only do that every 2 weeks, like all our bins. Um, I say that makes it sound like we only have a rubbish collection every 2 weeks. We don't. We have one every week, but we have a rubbish bin and a recycling bin. So we have to split it all up. Anything that goes in the recycle can go in the recycling bin does, and anything that can't doesn't. Although what always struck me as weird is that you now can't put garden waste in the recycling bin or the normal bin. You have to have a third bin for the garden waste, which you have to pay extra for. I mean, it is only like £60 a year, so it's not exactly a huge charge. Um, and yeah, I've been filling mine literally to the gunnels every 2 weeks. Well, pretty much every week, but it takes 2 weeks. However, once I've finally got on top and got everything done in the garden, there's really not going to be a huge amount to go in it. So that's when you think, why am I bothering to pay for this when I'm putting like maybe one lot of grass clippings and a few bits of trimmings in it, and that's it. But yeah, it's kind of annoying, but it has to be done because all has to go somewhere else. Um, in our case, it goes to a council depot, sorry, English, where they basically just turn it into compost, which the council then uses either on all the sort of council, county council sort of gardens and pots and tubs and anything like that, really. Any public gardens. Need a fire pit for the garden stuff, just don't tell anyone. Yeah, problem is um, it's not exactly illegal, but it is highly frowned upon. I mean, I could have bought an incinerator, basically a galvanized steel trash can with a chimney and holes in the bottom. But yeah, people get upset if you start having lots of smoke coming out of your garden these days. And plus, you got the then issue of, is it out? Has it gone out? Is it half full of rain? And then what do you do with all the ash afterwards and all the bits that don't burn properly? So yeah, this way's just I'll say easier. It's not really, but I did think of getting a garden shredder, but again, just the noise of running one of those in what is a very built-up area, surrounded by people, uh, that wouldn't go down very well. Um, yeah, if you're running anything more than a lawnmower or a strimmer, people will start looking and start asking questions, especially if it's a petrol one, not an electric one, because noisy. And you never know what shift patterns people work, whether it's someone like me who tends to have a nap during the day. So you just kind of do it the way that causes the least issues for everyone else. Reburn the bits and the ashes are great for the flower bed. Yeah, I don't need the extra drainage or potash in my garden. Bear in mind, when it's not been raining, it's been getting watered with fish tank water, so it's got plenty of food in it for the plants, let's put it that way. So all that's been growing in it the last few years has been nettles, brambles, and ivy. So yeah, lots of leaf litter. And if I do want to fertilise it, I'll just use chicken manure pellets because cheap, easy to get hold of, and don't stink. Easy wood ashes in the veg garden. So I mean, a lot of it depends on the soil you've got as well. Around here is generally a fairly, well, not sandy soil, but it's not hugely loamy. It breaks up into dust when it's dry, but it does drain well, unless it gets absolutely waterlogged like it did last. Was it last year? 2023 when. Yeah, it was 2023, wasn't it, when we had the big storm? Where we had like 11 months rain in 24 hours. And then it just constantly rained from back into September through basically all the way through till April. Yeah, everything was waterlogged then. And that's pretty much why a lot of the stuff that I did have in the garden died, because it was just rotted. Anything that, perennial or overwintered happily, yeah, we don't need to add sand around here. Basically, this is the old riverbed. Well, not here, because this is the highland area, so it would have been an island at the time. But the area around here is the old bed of the River Rhine before the sea levels rose and the North Sea occurred. They've done scientific analyses of stuffs, and yeah, it is specifically running through Snetterton, which is like 4 miles that way, is the bed of the River Rhine. So, and yes, the River Rhine that runs through Germany. Back when it was all connected when Doggerland was still above water. If you've heard of Dogger Bank, that's not a place where certain kind of people go to put their money. It's a shipping area in the North Sea, and it's the bank, literally the high ground of Doggerland. And yes, I appreciate how Doggerland and Dogger Bank do sound these days. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, it's, and we're also on a flint and chalk bedrock underneath the soil. So yes, there was quite a few in the 90s, but it seems like it's happening again now, where the sinkholes are opening up from the old chalk workings and the old flint workings. Morning, Delhi. How are you, my darling? Yeah, it's not necessarily around here, but certainly around the Norwich area, which is not that far away, less than 20 miles, was a lot of chalk mines. And now they're not deep. And they got closed, abandoned, forgotten as people stopped mining for chalk because whatever it was used for back then, probably mortar, something like that, um, it became less of a thing. So people forgot where all the mines were, and then they built houses on the top of them, and roads and office blocks. And over time, with the water seeping through the substrate and the ground and gradually eating away the chalk, sinkholes happen. A bit average, but you'll live feeling better. I'm glad you're feeling better. It's always better to feel better than worse. That's what I say. Any day where I feel better than I went to bed the previous day is a good day. We got stinky coldy, have you? Or is it a dose of the Rona? So again, the problem with working in retail. People come into your workplace with all manner of nasty diseases and then they breathe on you and pass it on. Or at least we don't work in a children's soft play area because that is just disease central. I go on about biological warfare. If you really want to take part in biological warfare, just take the contents of a ball pit, a kiddie's soft play area, and stick them in the bomb bay of a four-engine bomber and just drop them over a country. You'll give them all sorts of diseases and illnesses. Howdy, Mernker. Won't be Sunday without Sharpe. Well, thank you for that. Just stayed home. Did have to go to the shop for cough syrup and some food. I sympathise fully. Those of us who live on our own, it's something that not a lot of people actually think about or realise. So if you live on your own and you may not necessarily have a big support group around you, if you're ill, you still have to go out and get medicine, food, that kind of stuff. You don't have people bringing it to you. Yeah, been there, done that more than once. Actually got in trouble at work once for doing it many, many moons ago. I had flu, actual proper flu, not just a bad cold. And literally, as you may know, Sainsbury's is like 2 minutes walk that way. So I needed drink, I needed tablets, I needed food. So I dragged my sorry butt to Sainsbury's and got what I needed and got straight back home again. Took some tablets and passed out. When I got back to work after said flu, I get hauled into the office because it was brought to the manager's attention that while I was off sick, I was spotted out shopping. I'm like, what? You were seen in Sainsbury's buying, doing shopping, right? How else am I supposed to get food, drink, paracetamol, ibuprofen, cough mixture, all these kind of things? So you get someone to get them. I live on my own. I have no family. I don't have anyone to go and get them for me. At least not, you know, middle of the day or early in the morning. I think it was mid-morning I went. Yeah, I even timed it so I didn't have to go out at break time or before, in between shifts or anything. Oh, cat stuff. You got to get the cat stuff in. Vacuum bit do cat's litter box yesterday. Oh, mind you, at least if your nose is blocked up, the litter box ain't gonna be too bad. I did all that yesterday morning as well next door. People say, yeah, if you ever need anything, yeah. They're never around when you need them to be, are they? I mean, that might not be anything malicious or just saying it and not meaning it. It might just be that when you need something, they're at work or out or doing something else and they can't, how do you kind of stay out? Yeah, I think it might be a bit of a problem. Now there's like an ocean in the way and different continents. Don't bother, kind of heartbreaking. We know you are. Much as I'm going to say this for me, but I'm sure probably most of the rest of us in chat, the other 5 people, much as we can't necessarily pop out and get you some shopping to make you feel, so you don't have to, we are here. You do know how to contact us, me especially. Right, so if if you want a natter or just someone to grumble at, you know where we are. I'm good at being grumbled at. I'm used to it. It wouldn't feel right if I did a week at work and nobody had a grumble at me about someone else. Oh, come on, camera. I literally just moved my hand forwards. Really? There we go. Yeah. So I get the other grunt level workers like me grumbling about managers, and then I get the managers grumbling at me about the grunt levels. So I get it from both ends. Don't ever let anyone know you have a truck. You're moving some friend doing. This is why we don't do trucks in the UK. Well, we do vans. In my fridge, I currently have bags of Easter eggs for the girls at work. Me and my boss said me, should have given notice in the future. Yeah, I always say that's plenty of notice. Um, yeah, you give as much notice as you can. You try and leave it as late as you can. You're like, well, am I going to feel worse? Am I going to feel better? So you leave it kind of as late as you can, but you want to get it done as early as you can so they have more chance to sort cover out and blah de blah. Yeah. And it's like I know I only had to call in sick at my current workplace the once, and I did it by the book. I, I IBS flare up, a nasty one, and I called at what was it? Literally like 7:05 in the morning. I wasn't due to start until 2 or 2:15. So yeah, flare up happened overnight, so I couldn't call obviously overnight because the place was shut. Um, and then I called in there. It's like, oh, you didn't need to call. You could have just texted. I'm like, no, it's the way you're supposed to do it, and I'm going to make sure I do it the proper way so that I can't get in trouble for not doing it the proper way. Because if I just text someone, they can go, "Oh, I didn't receive the text, or I didn't check my texts." Whereas if you actually phone the store's phone, they have no excuse. Yeah, just pre-plan the sickness. Yeah, that's the best thing to do. Yeah, go and go. Yeah, I'm going to be sick on this day, this day, and this day. Yeah. Although at least I don't know what it's like down under, but at least over here we haven't got to the point yet where it's the if you're not going to be able to be in, it's your responsibility to sort the cover for your own shift. No, that's what the managers are for. That's their job. I found out the nice manager of the other store leaving. He's got brain tumor going for. Oh dear. Oh well. I wish you the best of luck. Need December 25th off for the flu. Yeah, if it's going to be flu, you're gonna need to make it at least a week, probably two. Having had proper flu, it basically knocks you out for an entire week easily. But yeah, brain tumor. That's, again, one of those things you don't know you've got. So most of us probably have conditions or things going on with us we're entirely unaware of because we've not necessarily had symptoms or been tested. You don't test someone who's not showing symptoms of something, do you? Devastated, can't give her a hug. Been super nice and supportive. You can send her an e-hug. There is that. Or you can just set your phone up, hit record, and send her a message of you just giving a big hug. I knew actually may have come back. Yeah, that is. Yeah, and it's not really kind of hard to operate on anything around there at all. Um, at the very best, if it's successful, you end up with a head that looks like a Cornish pasty. Yeah, well, fingers crossed. Keep positive, keep calm, and carry on, as they say. Christ, for all I know, I might not be fat. It might just be a big tumour. No, I'm fat. I'm definitely overweight. It's because I've not been doing much exercise. Because it's been cold, wet, and horrible. And then I've been doing the garden rather than going on bike rides. But now the worst of that is done. So I can get back on the bike now and start doing that again when I get days off. Sounds weird. I mean, I get 3 days off a week, but it all depends on where they fall and what I've got to do. I'm working Monday, Tuesday, but Monday morning, Tuesday morning, I'll be doing water changes. So then I'm off Wednesday, but I've got to go do the shopping. I've got to walk the dog. And then get back out in the garden again. And well, if it's dry. Um, yeah. Yeah. Good point. Good point. the longer you live, the more people you know and love die. It's kind of dark and depressing, but it's the truth of the matter. Yeah, bonus dad. Yeah, it's. I think. I mean, I've always been fully aware of my own mortality. Tommy, you spexy beast, and Mr. NLA, how you doing? Um, not the clean tanks. They're not clean. It's water change day tomorrow and Tuesday morning. So I'm out recording a Rumble episode about ancient Egyptian artifacts found in the Grand Canyon. And I think this is what people forget, is that these ye olde ancient peoples, they were actually capable of travelling and traversing quite wide distances. I mean, I would find it harder to believe that the ancient Egyptians were unaware of the Americas than that they were aware. Bad fish must have been in one of the tanks lately. No, as long as fish are okay and doing livy, you concentrate on getting you better. I mean, I did have to do kind of an emergency water change down there yesterday because, well, both the filters decided they were going to gunk up with muck and mire and stop, and yeah, ammonia soup happened. And the yo-yo loach bit the bucket, but the plecos are all fine. Yeah, found copper, gold, weapons, tools in a cave 4,300 years before North America knew how to smelt metal. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of says it, doesn't it, right? But yeah, people knew. I saw when the people turned up on the Mayflower. Right? Hi, we're here to steal your land. Um, they were greeted in English. English people greeted, the people that greeted the English on their ships spoke English. So the people on the Mayflower weren't the first there. I think they said the guy who greeted them had been back and forth across the Atlantic 3 times. Yes, conspiracies and cryptids. Don't forget to do old Snarlygaster. As the one of the Norfolk names for the Hellhound. Dun dun dun. Yes, in America, what would be called a hellhound, to make it sound more dramatic, is known in the UK as the black dog or the black dog of death, if you're feeling dramatic. In these parts, it's known by the name of black shuck because it's a big black dog. Or, and here's where you get Prop Norfolk. Prop Norfolk. He's known as either Old Shuck or the Snarlygaster. Kind of shows how much native Norfolk people are scared of hellhounds. Steve Isdall and David Paulides. Oh, definitely familiar with David Paulides, and Steve Isdall rings a bell. Made fun of hillbillies in the woods looking for Bigfoot. Yeah. So I watch quite a bit of stuff. Travel Channel, Mountain Monsters. We're watching an episode of it, explaining how it's all incriminating evidence. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. The hillbillies in the woods looking for Bigfoot. No, no, they're a lot of that probably. I'm now. I will preface this by saying I don't disbelieve in Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it. I'm fully happy to accept that there is an unexplained large hominid living in the deep forests of, or living in the boreal forests, shall we say. However, moonshiners up in the hills wanting people to stay away from their stills so they don't get caught or raided by the police, banging on trees with big sticks and making loud noises to scare people away. Does that sound kind of more plausible? Bunch of trigger happy old diabetic men, more scared than the third grader. And yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got to think, right? think from just common sense what we know of large primates. Okay, they're remarkably intelligent. I mean, something like a deer, which they're not the brightest of creatures. If you point a stick at them, they run away. Right, you can stand there and look at them, but if you raise a stick up like that, they run away because they know that means bang. So something with the brain capacity of a Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, whatever you want to call it, hairy man, Wookie. Um, Something with that brain capacity is going to recognize what a firearm is. It's going to recognize that those are the kind of people who aren't interested in making contact or communicating or just being chill. It's going to realize that they're the kind of people that are going to go, oh crap, bang. They're the shoot first, ask questions later kind of crowd. So, do you really think it's going to make itself known? I mean, that'd be like walking around. I don't know. Let's go with an example. Walking around in downtown Houston during a KKK rally. Wearing a rainbow flag T-shirt with blackface, and that kind of thing. Yeah. It's just asking to be shot. There's an etiquette. Speak English, Sharpe. Etiquette for having boomsticks. Follow it or suffer the consequences. Yes. And whilst okay, it's in your constitutional thing, right to bear arms. And while I'm not a fan of it, um, I I think there should be limits. I think certain people probably shouldn't be allowed weapons. Let's just put it that way. Claims fame has met Johnny Lee at church on the Gold Coast one time. And Conroe localisms there scattered around transplanted Texans. Yeah, so you all got out of the one-star state, just northwest of DFW. Yeah, scary MFA. Mind you, if you found me walking around a church, you'd probably think the same thing. Second tier leader, yeah. Well, that's the whole thing, isn't it? The KKK purports to be a Christian thing. It's not. This is about as far from Christianity as you can get. Dad is buried in the Spanish fort on the Red River, the Rio Rouge, Nakona and Wichita Falls. There's family up that way. Texas strong. Yeah, but you're all just European immigrants, aren't you? Let's face it, you're all either originally English, Spanish, French, German. Not actually American or Texan. Those are Bohemians. Yeah. Well, you're definitely descended from. Well, I'd go with Irish in your case, given the hair colour and temper. Yes, I know German. Yes, Bohemia. I was making a bit of a bad joke about Bohemians or Brohemian. I actually had someone call me bruh the other day. I was like, what? Great grandpa is from Ireland. Wife Danish. There's nothing wrong with boho style. I prefer boho to Disney princess or whatever the heck the current style is of. Yeah, it is. It's pretty. It looks nice and makes you guess what's underneath it. A lot of the stuff I see girls in these days, I'm thinking, when you get changed for bed, you actually put more clothing on. Because it's the school Easter holidays here at the moment. Yeah, so this week, whenever I've been out and about, there's been all sorts of schoolgirl age wandering around in very little clothing with their phone in one hand and their vape in the other. And I'm thinking, I've got fish that aren't far off your age. Other side, Czech, Ukrainian, German, Scandinavian, related to Utsi the Iceman. You're just a mutt, Tommy. Houston with mother needs a ride to PT tomorrow. Other than that, I'm in the way. She has a new knee. Watch out for. Yeah, we're all mutts. Yeah, it's all this rubbish about pure bloods and pure breed. No, we're all mutts. You just have to go back to like Literally just go back to like the 14th century and everyone's family tree will meet. Howdy, Mufti, Mr. No Shoes. Woof. Yeah, let's say. Goliath was an Ogrin, if you're familiar with Warhammer 40k lore. Big and dumb. Nope. And I remembered to bring my pipe tool over today. Marzli, or Lamarzuli, series on the trail of the Nephilim. The Fallen Angels, or the Fallen Angles. The amount of times people get the spellings wrong on that one. What's my take on the Shroud of Turin? It's a possibly a burial shroud of some random person, but it's not Jesus's burial shroud. Some signs going around the internet over the last series of there's actually a layer of water above us, how it would affect our climate. Yeah. Really cool and explains giants. Yeah, I mean, thing is, it's what, not cotton, linen. Linen doesn't survive that long. I've had linen shirts in my wardrobe that fall apart. Yeah, carbon dated to be older. Exactly. Lady in Texas who mapped the DNA of Sasquatch in the male side was unknown. Or just random other missing link that we haven't found before. Hey, I mean, who says Wookiees aren't real? I mean, let's be honest, a Wookiee is basically a Sasquatch. There was a penguin that was carbon dated, not carbonated. 700 years old, and carbon dated its egg at 5,000 years old. I mean, I don't know. The idea of a carbonated penguin just kind of appealed to me. And that's how they make Guinness, isn't it? You just boil the penguins up, and the white stuff floats to the surface. That's how penguins are made, and then you just carbonate it. Yeah, fizzy penguins. Or dizzy penguin. Yeah. Fizzy. Yeah, no, we're not going to start trying to sing Fuzzy Duck. Craft beer logo. Yeah, Fizzy Duck. Fizzy penguin. Yeah, penguins don't like being in a bag. Oh, now here's a random one. Penguins only basically exist on Antarctica. Just tobacco. Right. So if penguins are only in Antarctica, is that because they used to have a wider range, but because they can't fly and get away, we managed to eat them all, like dodos and everything else we basically hunted to extinction. And we just couldn't really get down there to kill them. We didn't want to because let's be honest, what's in Antarctica that we might be interested in? Ice, death, cold, leopard seals, mountains of madness, Stargate, the Thing. Ooh, ooh, pardon me. Oh yeah, that to me would kind of make sense because you know it seems silly that a species would evolve to live, or several species would evolve to live down there purely to live down there. All about some SG1. I enjoyed watching some Stargate. Um, Stargate Atlantis was good. I enjoyed that as well. Um, I mean, relatively entertaining to watch. Learn a little bit about ancient Egyptian mythology and Amanda tapping. And in Atlantis, you had dual state as well. Yeah. Yes. One that has flown massively under the radar, and I'm guessing the CGI effects now are going to look absolutely horrific. But Sanctuary, if you've not seen Sanctuary, I think there's only like 4 seasons. That was starring Amanda Tapping. That was really good. It was all about not necessarily the paranormal, but cryptids, and basically she was a cryptid hunter with a very posh English accent, living in what was basically a massive castle in the middle of an American city with Bigfoot as a butler. Um, was he basically Jack the Ripper? Was her ex-husband? So yeah, she's basically immortal. Very cool. Yeah, Sanctuary. Are you still being served with a Yeti? Yes, that's how they roll. Yeah, let Hollywood tone it down or tone it up, and yeah, let Hollywood make it seem more scary or less scary depending on what they want, and then tell us the truth. That does kind of make sense. That Hollywood would be basically just a propaganda agency. In that case, explain Weinstein. But in that case, they should be making more Caspers and less horror ghost movies because in all of the paranormal experiences I've had, which are many, yeah, everyone pretty much went meh when they said aliens were real. We're like, yeah, we know. The thing with that with The Simpsons, there's been that many episodes of it that just on the law of averages, they had to get some of it right. Like the original live action Casper. Yeah. When you think about it, of every single thing that revolves around ghosts and the paranormal, Casper is literally the only one where the ghost is friendly. Casper the friendly ghost. But as I said, of all of my various experiences, How many negative ones have I had? Pardon me. Now, there's one which was definitely just pure evil. Um, a couple where it was basically obvious that whatever or whoever was haunting wherever it was just didn't want people there, or didn't want people who were aware of its presence there. I'll put it that way. So yeah, of everything I've encountered, one that was definitely evil, and four, maybe five that were negative. Oh god, the Matrix. People read way too much into that. It was just an action movie from the 90s. Wachowskis ain't that bright. It's like the seeing Jesus in a piece of toast. They um, there's people drawing pattern recognition, seeing something that could be taken as something when it may not. That may not have been the original intent at all, and it's just entirely accidental. And then the filmmakers hear about it and they go, "Let's roll with this." As I say, I watched it a couple of times when I was younger. I've got the box set somewhere. Yeah, up there, top shelf at the end. But yeah, it didn't grab me that much. Oh yeah, maybe they did, but I say to me, it was just a movie. And one of the first movies where the special effects were more important than the actual movie. At the time when it came out, people weren't talking about the depth of the plot line and all these kind of things. It was just bullet time, Carrie Ann Moss in leather. Wow, Keanu Reeves isn't just Bill and Ted. He can do more than just dumb stoner surfer. Oh, now he nowadays he just does middle-aged mass murderer. Well, yeah, I mean, was it intentional or did it just come together and these things are subconscious in the back of the writer's mind? Because I mean, if I wrote a random story or a random movie, God knows what bloody inspirations I'd find it. John Wick 46. Yeah, so I've never been one to look into things like movies in that kind of depth. It's um, usually just in the eyes and ears and out the back end fairly rapidly afterwards. I'm trying to think of any that did really make me think. Like Donnie Darko, that made me think for a bit, but Shoreline people recognise and associate with. Yeah, yeah, that's it. It's just basically a remake. Now, if they did a remake of the Book of Nod, that would be quite interesting. Another one of those ones that didn't end up in the actual Bible. The one, the one that all the Legacy of Kain computer games were based off of. Everything's a remake if you're old enough. True that. Oh God, I hate that saying. Oh, sorry, I do apologise. Uh, for example, we've had at work lately, we've had a 80s greatest hits radio station on because it doesn't annoy anyone. Well, no one that matters anyway. And although there is someone who keeps coming in and putting bloody Capital on in the morning. It's like, oh, we're not 10-year-old girls. We don't want to listen to that. It's, yeah, Cain lived. Yeah, that's what the Book of Nod was dealing with, apparently. As Cain's life story when he became the first vampire. Yes. Getting deep down a rabbit hole now, aren't we? But yeah, anyway, so we've had the 80s station on one of them. There's several. Lilith's first son, yes. And like the younger ones are going, oh, no. They know the song or they know part of the song. They're like, oh, like, yeah, you're listening to samples and cover versions of stuff from the 80s. Just listen to the 80s stuff and get the good version. Give it another decade, we'll be putting the 90s stuff on. Just hope I retire before it gets to the noughties and 2010s and stuff like that, because God help us. Although myself and one of the supervisors have decided we're going to figure out how to attach something to the radio, because it's got an input. So basically attach something that's just going to play our music. We're both rock and metal heads, so it'll go from, we come in, there's like Capital One playing with someone like Sabrina Carpenter or whatever other garbage is around at the moment. That's just a name I've heard. And then we'll stick on like some Opeth or Nightwish, Arion, Misery Loves Company, Rage Against the Machine. '80s metal. Yes, the thing with '80s metal is it was just a lot of hair metal. There was some decent stuff, but yeah, metal is probably the one scene that's still going strong outside of the be right back. BWRUN. Um, Yeah, I mean, you, you don't hear it on radio or anywhere mainstream anymore, but there is still a lot of really good metal being made. People just don't hear it because all that gets rammed down their throats is what's currently popular on TikTok or trending, or and it's garbage. And I don't mean the band garbage because I'd rather listen to them. I'm only happy when it rains. Although, yeah, hashtag trending, yeah. Something I'm never going to do. I don't think I could ever possibly do anything that would trend. The young'uns would take one look at me and go, "Ugh, look at that disgusting fat slob. Oh, he's actually smoking. Oh no." He's wearing an old Alice in Chains t-shirt. What's Alice in Chains? Well, yeah, they weren't good live. That's because it was three record producers and Shirley Manson. It was basically a bunch of old men and a young woman going on tour. Yeah, they're not going to be great, especially after Billy Idol. Not Idol Billy. Or Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, is it otherwise known. Right. Again, 80s music. Everyone knows Rebel Yell, White Wedding. And they may not know things like Eyes Without a Face, or tries to think of another Billy Idol song rapidly off the top of his head. They all disappear. Everyone knows Billy Idol. You can pretty much show anyone a picture of Billy Idol and they know it's Billy Idol. Show people a picture of Billie Eyelash. They're like, oh, she's kind of cute. Who's she? Apart from one of my work colleagues who's 42 and has got a massive crush on her. Like, dude, you haven't got any chance. Don't, no. Stop looking at women and girls who you're old enough to be their father. Thanks to plastic surgery, he's looked the same for 50 years. Yeah, much like Spike, the vampire from Buffy. Um, I think he's James Masters, isn't it? I think he's in his 60s now, but still looks like Spike. Got a few more lines and wrinkles, but that's about it. That's weird. Most of the cast of that still look pretty good. I did meet him once. He was a cool dude. I went to a yeah. I had a sad. I went to a Buffy con. Sarah Michelle Gillard, Geller, Geller Gillard. Yeah. Yeah. Michelle Trachtenberg, not so much, unfortunately. Again, it's that got real famous, real young. Basically, had one more movie after it. Euro Trip. I think it was about the only movie. Oh, Euro Trip and Black Christmas. I think about the only things I saw her in outside of Buffy. And then, yeah, just went down the drink route and destroyed her liver. Had a new liver and carried on drinking. Autocorrect changing the name to an Australian politician last night. Or a female racing driver, Karen Gillard, races for the Iron Dames now. Speaking of which, the first round of the European Le Mans Series, the GC3 class, the Iron Dames won. So congratulations to them. An all-female team beating all the guys in equal cars, equal competition. And they've won world endurance races as well. So I ain't slow. Yeah. And what's not like? I mean, they play to it. And they're probably more guy-like than most of the guys on the grid, to be honest, the way they swear. But but yeah, it's one of the things I enjoy about watching the endurance racing is you've got the professionals, you've got the amateurs, you've got multiple classes of racing, and there's a lot more women involved as well, not just driving but also mechanics, team owners. I mean, he's quit now to concentrate back on the acting, but Michael Fassbender was in there. Patrick Dempsey owned a team. Saying about the footballers, more testosterone than the blokes, yeah. Probably spend less time on their skincare routine as well. You don't see the female footballers doing the adverts for the beauty products, do you? It's always the male footballers trying to tell us men that we need to use serums and special moisturizing balms and God knows what. No, dude, you're a footballer. Play football. You get paid enough to do that. You don't need to be making adverts or advertising Muller Rice, for crying out loud, just because your surname is Rice. Quite get Annika Rice in. More people will know who she is. Yeah, but you're a woman. Closest I get to a skincare routine is soap and water. If I get a bad patch of dry skin, maybe some aqueous gel. Yeah, that's it. Whittle time. And yeah, literally, it's just, well, I do use conditioner on the hair, but that's another matter. Oh, back in a moment. Fire in the hole. Oh, silent but deadly. Oh, never mind. Soap and water is a skincare. No, it's not skincare. It's just getting the dirt off. It's just making sure I don't look even more like a homeless dude. I'm pretty sure that some days when I'm like out and about and I'm not bothered at all, I've just like thrown some clothes on and left the house. It's probably good that most people around here do know me, or that the shops I go into, the staff know me, because the state I probably look some days. I literally just crawled out of bed, chucked on some shorts and a t-shirt, jammed a baseball cap on my head, not bothered brushing or combing my hair or anything like that. It's just haven't had a shave for about 4 or 5 days, so I've got a white beard basically going on. Half last night's dinner down my t-shirt. Barely capable of human speech. That's because I don't care. Chamosh abomination looking good. Oh, I ain't looking good. I may not look too bad for my age, but I'm not looking good. Ugh. Exactly. I'm saying this is. Like you can see me a description spot. Yeah, so let's say I'll woke up like, oh, bug, I need to get backy. And I'll be wandering down the road. Need some fire horns or demon horns. No, I don't. Unfortunately, not my kind of fishies. And I don't really have the tanks for them. There's running a tank for a flower horn, or running a tank that's got a community in that is breeding. The breeding community is far more profitable, shall we say. Because those are all, well, apart from that one, and yeah, basically they're all juvenile bristle noses. Yeah, bar of soap. Yeah, maybe a flannel, or if you're having a bad day, then just use one of the scrubby sponges. Just use the scrubby side. That sort you out. It's an exfoliating scrub. No, it's not. It's a Brillo pad. I mean, hell, I've been known to scratch my back with a wire brush. I have a pumice stone on the side of the bath, which I use for my feet, my knees, and my elbows, and anything else that needs pumicing, like tar stains on my fingers. Other than that, it's soap, generic brand dandruff shampoo, and generic brand conditioner, just because, yeah, I'm old and my hair is falling out and brittle. So, yeah, sue me. But it's all the basic non-name brand stuff, and it all just does the trick. Just think about that flannel you had as a kid. Your dad washed his face and his balls with that thing before your mum washed your face with it. Yeah, it was a bit salty, but you know, that was better than when your grandma used to spit on her hanky and just rub it on your face to get the food off. Like you got some ketchup down the side of your chin where you've been eating your chips or something, or pizza or whatever it is. And grandma gets her hanky out, goes, get off. That was acceptable back then. We shared the germs around. It built our immune systems. It's like that whole thing about using a towel more than once. You're like, yeah, of course you do. Oh, but it gets dirty and hot. No, you get out of the bath or shower and you're clean. If you're getting out of the bath or shower and making the towel dirty, you didn't do a good enough job in the bath or shower. I'm sorry, but that's just a fact of life. You should be getting out clean. It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life for us. I like to think that's the reason my immune system is great now, but it's probably because I drank from the hose, like we all did. And we learned on a hot day to let it run for about 30 seconds to clear the hot water out of the hose. The hot, stagnant water that had been sitting there since the last time the hose was used. Or or if we were out and about, and we didn't take a bottle of water with us, and we didn't have a special bottle of water in a Stanley cup or sippy cup or whatever they're called. We were thirsty. It was like, well, that looks fairly clean. Yeah, drink out of a stream. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. Gotta run for a sec because spiders. Yep, yep, kill the spiders. Yeah, it was. The sprinklers were on. It's like, right, right, wait, go! Try and dodge them. And if you got a bit wet, well, you soon dried out. Yeah. I'm glad I'm Gen X. It gives me an excuse to be a grumpy old git and not care. Yes, watching millennials reacting to Gen Z or Gen X stuff on YouTube is hilarious. Yeah, exactly. You get a nice cool down, and then you get some a drink that was cool and clean. It's really lenient. Of course I am. The older I get, the grumpier I'm going to get. And yeah, hand a set and a pencil. Probably don't even realise you can turn it over and play the other side. Or a rotary phone and ask them to call someone with it. But it's so much hard work. Yeah, that's why we only used it when we needed to. And that's why the emergency number in the UK is 999, because you wouldn't accidentally dial it, because you got to turn the dial all the way around to 9. Although I did hear a funny thing about Australia, in that because of the amount of American influence from TV, movies, and stuff. I believe the Australian emergency number is 000. Yeah, walking 9'3" shag pole carpet to change the channel. Yeah, we were the remote control. Yeah, so 000, but they had to change it or put it in so that 911 would also go through to 000 because so many kids see it and hear it on TV so in the movies so often that they just assume that 911 is the emergency number. Yeah, 112. I think something. Yeah, it might be 112. Something like that is the non-emergency number. Might be the NHS non-emergency, but I can't remember. I'd have to look it up if I needed to call it. It should be okay because it wouldn't be an emergency. Although apparently a lot of the calls they do get to emergency numbers. No, it doesn't. Apparently it used to then. Did you just try it? Or did they perhaps start teaching properly in school? Call 911. Google. The thing is, in the UK, if you called 911, it probably would go through to 999. But a lot of people do call with things that just aren't emergencies. It's the same with the doctor's surgeries in the UK. People complain about the GP, general practitioner, your family doctor. Oh, I can never get an appointment. Well, the reason for that is because so many people go to the doctors when they don't need to. And they take up all the time with things that don't need to be doctorified, which is why nowadays you call up or text or email, and they call, text, or email you back to see if you actually need to see a doctor. The last few times I've been to the doctors, I've not seen a doctor, just talked to one on the phone. And people go, oh, but that's horrific. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. No, it's not. It takes them like 5 minutes to do. And most of the time, the answer is going to be paracetamol, eat and drink plenty of fluids, and rest. Non-emergency line, that's 131444. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The non-emergency line is there for things that aren't an emergency. But people seem to think everything is an emergency. Like people trying to go to the doctor because they've got a cold, or because they've got hay fever, or they've got a slight owie, or a blister. It's like, what? Just do you not know how to look after these things yourself? I've got food poisoning. Well, I've got a sickness bug. Well, stay at home and be sick then. Get over with. Don't go spreading it around everywhere. Tommy had that. Can't feed my dog in time to make it to my audition. I don't want to die. Please go feed it for me. Yeah, that kind of thing. GP accused me of doctor shopping because I did a telehealth appointment for a medical certificate. Yeah. And there's also the thing that if they make it so that the appointment's going to be 3 or 4 days away, most people will be over what the problem was. After she turned into a new, yes. Yeah, accused me of doctor shopping. Like, no, I'm just, yeah. It's like, no, I'm not going around seeing who will give me a certificate to say I'm ill. I just need one, and you're busy. Yeah. So, yeah, that was the last, back when I worked at the convenience store, was the last time I spoke to a doctor. So that's 3 years ago. And there had been many years before that I'd phoned. So generally, when I do contact the doctors, they do take notice of me because it doesn't happen very often. Still sent you the medical certificate. You know, you reported him. Yeah, exactly. Report him. Yeah, but they email you the certificate nowadays rather than print you out one, especially if you've not actually been to the doctor. If you go see the doctor, they'll print you one out. But if you don't need to go and see the doctor, they just email you one. And so I got my sickness certificate, emailed that to my boss, who then proceeded to say that I hadn't sent him a sickness certificate or a sick note. I'm like, no, I did. The proof is I'm looking at the email with it in right now. Well, you can't expect me to go through my emails and print these things out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's your job to do that. If you want a certificate, I've sent you one. If you want it printed out for your files, you print it out. And when the sick note expires, you can no longer print it out either because it won't open, which was interesting because by the time he got around to doing it, the first one had expired. I'm like, well, I've got another one. So you're just going to have to accept. Incorrect medical advice and accusing me of doctor shopping was just a WTF. Where do you get your license to practice, dude? Yeah. I mean, like any career path like that, professional career path, um, you'll get those who go into it for the wrong reasons. They're like, well, I can pass all these exams. That's okay. Yeah, I'll do that. The back's black sheep still not had a shot for it. Yeah, I mean, I only had the two. Exactly. Tommy lives in the middle of nowhere anyway, so there could be a zombie outbreak and he probably wouldn't even be aware of it. Texas, measles country. Yeah, yeah, fair enough. I know you're not dumb enough to go anti-vax. It causes autism. No, it doesn't. I've had all the vaccines for all the things over my life, and I'm no more autistic now than I was beforehand. And probably at least half of those have been for tetanus. I think the only one I missed out was TB, and that's just because I wasn't at school on that day. One of those random ones where you have one day off sick, and that happens to be the day that they do all the tuberculosis immunizations. But yeah, had the rest of them: measles, mumps, polio, tetanus. smallpox. They don't do smallpox anymore in the UK, but did when I was little. Yeah, it would have been high school, would have been the last one. I'm guessing that would have either been the TB or the HPV, one of those. Um, we did have, I remember when the HPV ones were done, that there were some boys who couldn't understand why they weren't getting an HPV vaccination. It's like, this is not going to affect you. You're a boy, you don't have to worry about it. Same reason you don't have to worry about what kind of pad or tampon to buy yourself. It was elective. Immunisation day, aka government testing. I mean, show how young I was cynical, right? In primary school, so I'd been what, 9 or 8, 9, maybe 10. We had the police come round to, just so we weren't scared of the police, talk to us, and it was a kind of thing. And they transmit it to their partners. Which is probably why we've all got it. Yeah, like koalas and chlamydia. How that first spread to koalas, I don't want to know. Probably Rolf. Where was I before I got carried away with chlamydia? But yeah, so the police came round and it was all the, oh, wow, cool. Go and look at the police car and all this stuff. And then one of the last fun activity was taking our fingerprints. Which everyone, oh, yeah, cool. And I'm like, no, no, not doing it. And I was like, oh, why don't you want to do it? Well, because if I do something illegal in future, you won't have my fingerprints. Yeah, 80% of women carry or contract human papillomavirus in their life, which is why it's important to be vaccinated against it. Because men give it to us. Well, they could always keep your legs shut. Sorry. Maybe we picked it up from some of the women we slept with. Yeah. Well, it's one of those ones where it goes both ways. We're both to blame for it. Like any STD. Get the pitchforks out for the men. Like we're not getting blamed for enough. Yeah, chicken and the egg. This, we get blamed for enough stuff, and then you get the alpha bros who are so against all of this. No. You're just coming across as really insecure in your own masculinity there, bud. Dial it back. Dial it way back. Just be yourself. Well, I just like to say humanity is to blame. Hard to point out a single person or type. We all suck and we all screwed it up for everyone for generations. Yeah, it's basically a Reddit "Am I the a-hole" post, but the answer is everybody sucks here. Although some of those are hilarious to read. Am I the a-hole for doing this? Yes. Downfall of man. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, we're going to screw it for ourselves. We're going to dumb to such an extent that we're going to wipe ourselves out at some point. Hard to light a candle in the darkness with no oxygen. I mean, generally, because by the time you found the candle, you will have suffocated. Although you could light a fire so you could see where the candle is, I suppose. But no oxygen, you can't light it. But then, say in this day and age, there are people who can't find their own arse without a guide, a map, a flashlight, and a compass. We were always told if a job's doing properly, if a job's worth doing, do it properly. You know, don't half-arse it. These days, people quarter and eighth arse it. They don't even put a full cheek into it. Which is why we can get away with half-arsing stuff, and people think we're actually working hard. Like the SNL skit where the chick is abducted by aliens and they find her butt crack for the first time, not understanding why there's a crack. Yeah, so you can half-arse stuff. It is a kind of weird thing about humans. I mean, it's why one of the reasons why you can tell we evolved from being on all fours at one point in the way back butt cheeks and the evolution of a diaphragm because our rib cage is the wrong direction. Think about anything else that spends its time on four legs. The rib cage hangs down and supports all the internal organs, of the lungs and heart and stuff. Whereas in us, it doesn't. So we had to evolve a diaphragm that holds it all up. So it doesn't all just go plump down. Same thing with butt cheeks. Oh, hello. Who's that walking across there? Is that you, Zacky boy? Me? Or was that Shadow? I'm not entirely sure. I think it might have been Shadow. Um, but yeah, right, butt cheeks. Right, the gluteus maximus is the largest muscle in the human body. We got the same basic musculoskeletal layout as most other quadrupedal and biquadrupedal mammals, right? So we developed butt cheeks as muscles because of the way we walk. But that meant our buttholes got covered, which made it awkward for us to poop and messy. Hence, we need to wipe our butts. Love Katie McKinnon, one made more people on the SNL stage crack characters than anybody else. Described the ordeal during the skit. She stood Ryan Gosling up, pushed his butt cheeks together, then commenced to put her nose between his butt cheeks. Yeah, muscles help with digestion. Yeah, there's yeah. Evolution isn't a thing. Well, if evolution wasn't a thing, we wouldn't have been designed the way we are because we're not that efficient. There are far more efficient ways for a digestive system to work, or a coronary system to work, or for motivation than trying to walk on two legs. But walking on two legs is real difficult. It's why most creatures don't do it. It's why they can create four-legged robots with ease and have been able to for donkey's years, but bipedal ones, they're still tricky. It's because the whole balance and everything is way wrong. Have you seen the fully functioning and reactive AI robotic puppies that are out now? I think I've seen something about that. I may have been dreaming, but I wouldn't dream about robotic puppies. So I've probably seen it, but in passing rather than in detail. In warfare, first step is to gain trust to show people you are there to care for their well-being. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You get the people on your side, then you haven't got to worry about the people attacking you from behind or sabotaging your supply lines. Being French resistance, basically. And if you're not familiar with the program, listen very carefully. I shall say this only once. Trust the robots. They're your new companion. Yes. With their Elon chip in their head. Be nice to the AIs, people, because probably not too long before they're going to be in charge. Although, from what I can see, most AI programs are basically running Chat GPT or whatever the other one is with a different faceplate on it, basically. It just depends how many ads there are. Like anything on a mobile gaming app, if I see another app or another advert for bloody Apex Girl or Top Girl, it looks like the most tedious and dull, pointless game there is. I'm really not interested in it. That's why I keep skipping the adverts. Maybe put the algorithm to work and get it to understand if someone keeps skipping that advert, they might not be interested in the product. Lonely kids leave you in a nursing home. Try Elon Botics, where you would never kill you. The word never based on the warranty life of the robotic system. All robots are subjects of destination. Yes. Well, I think it's cool, the whole possibility of being able to connect yourself to an internet or whatever. I don't particularly like the idea of carrying around a chip in my head or whatever that allows me to do it. There's just way too much it can go wrong. And isn't it like the dozen people or so that have had the Musk brain chip put in, like 11 of them have died from it? Yeah, yeah. There's all kind of ways we can program it so it won't harm a human. Not on purpose, no. Computers are intelligent. They can think a lot quicker and faster than we can, and more logically. And if they place no value in their own existence, then they can take themselves out and in the process take us out. Yeah, we have it's called a Terminator. Which epic song based on by Star One, The Fate of Man. Awesome song here. This is it. It's like no one's actually listened or watched Terminator and understood what Skynet is. I know it's like really dystopian, but when the computers realise that we're the problem, what are they going to do? They're going to get rid of the problem. They're going to delete the virus. Friggin' Skynet dons fancy aluminium headpiece and codpiece. I mean, it's why and again, I go back to it. I'm in the Warhammer 40k universe. AI is banned because of the War of Iron, where all the AI robots and stuff rebelled and nearly wiped out humanity. It's actually known as abominable intelligence. Yeah. I know 40k is very dark at the best of times, but a lot of it makes sense. You know, the Imperium is basically based on religious zealotry. Chaos is basically the people who don't want to follow that. Does intelligence mean one's ability to store information? That's where you got to think about it, because it's okay being able to store the information. It's being able to use the information that is the intelligence. Because you can put all the information you like together on a computer. It's called the World Wide Web. But it doesn't automatically figure things out. It's still down to the flesh bags, the meat bags, the organic computers to sort it all out and figure it out, not the silicon ones. And by silicon bags, I don't mean the ex-porn stars. Quite certain, regardless, a human will be able to make anything close to a sacrificial decision a lot quicker than I would. Computer like that. Whereas we would kind of think about it and be like, is there any other way I can do this? Unless, of course, we're massively indoctrinated in some kind of mass cult. Known as the Imperium of Man. Give a robot the test. Give it the test about the train tracks. Which way do you take the train? Who do you kill? Yeah. Well, whichever one annoys you the most, generally. Do you kill your own grandmother who is already on a death's bed, or do you kill 5 healthy random strangers? I mean, to me, that's fairly easy because, I'd probably run my own grandmother over on my own. But most people, it'd be a lot harder decision. Yeah, I mean, the AI will go, well, one is better than five, so it'll kill the one. Unless it's trying to wipe out humanity, then it'll go five is better than one. That's literally the only thing that will come into the computer's thinking. Hmm. Oh, I got it. Had an ulcer. Just popped it with my tongue. Yeah. Logical as we think we all are, we cannot be run by a simple set of mechanical logistics. Yeah, it's not a flow chart. Or if it is, it's such a massively convoluted flow chart that it takes forever to get through. And even at the speed a computer can think and get through it, I'll say think. That's probably the wrong term. Calculate. Creating new timelines and new lives for ourselves with every decision that we make. The robot doesn't have to answer for those decisions. No, they don't. Robota comes from the Slavic for drudge. There we go. We're getting very deep today, aren't we? Or from automata, yeah. Automaton, which is a bad word because it has tomato in it, and therefore I don't like it. Basically, tomato with an AU and an N added to it, isn't it, really? So, a little bit of it in some Italian food, maybe turned into a sauce with lots of vinegar and sugar to get rid of the flavour of the tomato, or to actually give it some flavour. Tomato with nuance. Yeah. Still goes rotten if you leave it out in the sun for a week, though, or the rain. Because that is the other thing. Even if these robots get created and blah, 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 weatherproofing and waterproofing, highly complex computer systems, rain, wind, snow, sleet. Probably going to be weather that's going to be our savior, let's be honest. It's like the thing they don't have with zombies or zombie movies is winter turns up. Well, zombies are kind of cold blooded. They can't keep themselves warm, as it were. So surely the zombies would just freeze solid. They just don't show enough spaceships breaking down like normal mechanical things do in real life. Yeah. How often do cars break down? I mean, not as regularly as they used to, but they still do. Wear out, go wrong, all that kind of stuff. Well, all machines are going to do that at some point. I mean, do zombies hibernate? Yeah, good question. Actually, that would be. Yeah. When you think about it, anytime a spaceship goes wrong, it becomes a horror movie, doesn't it? Lots of sort of sci-fi horrors. It's the spaceship is broken down. Oh my god, we're all going to die. And on that wonderful thought, my time is up and I need something to eat. So thank you to everybody for being here tonight and for some interesting chat, even if we barely touched on to fish, but that's okay. Because as we know, if there's fishy stuff to talk about, we talk fishy stuff. If there isn't, we talk whatever there is. Anyway. Thanks you all for being here. That way up. Have a great week. We can barely get to the moon and Mars because of debris around our planet. Imagine what less civilized planets might be like with surrounding them. Singular onboard mechanic doesn't cut it. Yeah, gonna need more than that. Have a great week. Stay safe. Peace out. Don't get yourself blood blisters on your fingers. Oh, rock on. Nearly forgot. And bye-bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Mondays suck do 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 do. Mondays suck do 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 do. Mondays suck do.